just wanted to let people know. I sent out just right before the meeting, literally like 7:30, I got an email back from Erin Paulson, and there were a couple of documents that she came across in there, and so I emailed them out.
Okay.
But probably nobody's had a chance to look at them yet, including me.
Okay. I did see the email when I was looking for my verification code. I saw that. Like, oh, okay, something. I'll make sure that it's on the agenda for
All she
next.
has so far. She said she'll keep her eyes out for any other things that show up.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. I'm gonna go on and share my screen and get started. And so again, I wanted to go over a lot of things that we did from last year, which is we're still in the same fiscal year, but I did want to go over some of the things that we've already done and revisit things just in case we forgot some things that we were already working on. So this is the second quarter meeting, even though it's on a special day from the cancellation from last month. So we're going over things from quarter one and quarter two. And so that's from June all the way up to the end of November. Okay, so we can go on with the roll call.
Okay. Dr. Griggs.
Present.
Dr. Hutchins, present. Dr. Cavender, present. Dr. Olson. Dr. Coker.
Present.
Dr. Zahner.
Half present.
Dr. Greer.
Present.
Dr. Poe and Dr. Weems. And Dr. Messia, I see you're there as well.
Oh, okay. Dr. Mesha joined us. Okay. Hello, Dr. Mesha. Great. All right. We'll get this officially started, meeting 8:20 p.m. First item agenda, we're going to approve the past minutes. So we have both quarter one and the special board meeting, which was the pre-winter conference. So we'll start with, we'll approve them both if there isn't any type of discussions or discrepancies that you guys found with the minutes. So I didn't mind coupling that together as a
I think I found a description. Dawn, I apologize. I misspelled your last name. I made it E-N. It's O-N, correct? Okay.
Okay.
I'll correct that in future.
Okay. Were there any other, because they look fine to me. I did review them. Was there anything that maybe we left out that we wanted to add to them? All right. Well, if we could put a motion on the floor to approve the past minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the past minutes from the 2 board meetings previous.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. We're going to go through the treasurer's report, which is the activity. Of course, it's itemized, but we're going all the way up until today, of course, but just to, just for the sake of organization of the quarters, the reports you guys received as the PDF, it shows all of the income and expenses from both quarters. So you all should have received that. I did, and then also the balance sheet, I did do a screenshot of it today. And all that is the figure as of today's date, because the quarter reports that we have in November 30th. So December, January, and all of February will be in the next meeting's topic. So this is just a screenshot of what you should have received in the emails for first quarter, second quarter. And then of course, and then today being the trial balance that I have highlighted, and that gives the exact number of what's in the account today. That's what's highlighted here at the top there, the trial balance. So although we're not talking about any of the expenses for this month thus far, but I still want to have that for you guys just to document for the minutes. But if I were to go backwards again, these are the reports that we're actually approving on the for the treasurer's report. Okay.
I can't actually read any of those numbers on there.
Oh, well, it's just for the sake of just showing.
I know,
you all the
so
documents.
to-
Yeah,
I just wanted to mention, like, the balance is 12,415 as of today. That does not include one more $2,500 payment we owe to the lobbyist. I was just
Thank
gonna make sure that we're still
oh, thank you, thank you.
going
Donna.
ahead
I
with
did that a
that.
couple hours ago, so I don't know if it may have updated.
Yeah,
You know, you may have updated on Wave and
was
whatever.
trying to, but it wasn't quite there. So,
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
and-
what Don says for Jim, if you can put it in the chat or you can.
Said
if you-
12,413,
12,415.
15.
So that's of today. So
As of today, thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, and would somebody like to motion for the approval of the treasurer's report?
Before that, I might just ask one question, which goes back to the Facebook fundraisers. I
Okay.
don't see any payments for Meta at all. Have you seen any come through either for Annie or the college? Because I know I've made donations to them and I haven't seen any of them come through yet.
Okay, what's the date that the fundraiser ended? Do you
So
remember?
mine was January 31st of this year. So we should have seen it by now.
No, when
23
did
days
it,
in.
when did it end, when you first set up? You know how you set up the start date?
Yeah,
the end date?
the last day was January 31st, 2022. I made the payments much earlier than that
Oh, okay, from 2022, and for which organization?
for the A&E.
For the ANA, okay, and okay, so the last payment was January 1st of 2022, and this was Meta via the Facebook, because what they would have done is the Network for Good, the company that's actually done, they would, in maybe 45 to 75 days later, they would issue the check to that, and I can't say we're not seeing that come through the institution. Is that, because that would be the address that's on file, unless if you've seen a different address for the ANA, when it pops up, when it asks you, what would you like to raise money for? And then you select the organization, we can always go on Facebook just to see what address are they looking at as far as, and I thought I updated everything to come to the college's address, but I can't say, I don't know that I remember that.
You still have, I still see CNCN instead of NCNM in there.
Yes, you
I
will.
will just mention that.
You will.
Okay.
You will.
But I'm pretty sure the address was correct.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure you're actually getting the money
Oh,
eventually.
yes.
So,
The things that come in, it does not tell us who the person is that's running these fundraisers on Facebook, but it'll come in addressed to us, and that's reported within the school boards. So I don't know who's doing them, but I'm pretty sure that somewhere in our meeting minutes, it has come up in our financial reports if we've gotten a check from Network for Good, which we have. So we have received checks from them, but it doesn't tell us who sponsored the fundraisers to know who to say thank you to. So that's the only drawback. And so usually I try to send things out like, hey, don't forget to tell us that you've done something. That way we know who to put it towards. Otherwise, I just leave it in our books as donations, and it's just anonymous at that point. So I'm pretty sure that if it definitely came for the college, we did get it, because I'm very good about putting that inside of the books. As far as ANA, again, it should have come there too. And I do recall some moments where I had some checks come in that I might have given to Mary, and then she deposited them. And then I went into the Wave apps and probably categorized it under a donation. So you may find it in there too. It just depends on when we made those deposits. It's hard to notate when, but I do go in and itemize it out.
Yeah, I'll look back for the Network for Good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure what it was coming as, if it was a direct deposit or a check
Oh,
or
no,
whatever.
no.
So-
It will be a check. It's not a
It would be
direct
a check.
deposit. Yes.
Okay, got it.
So, so it's definitely in the wave apps because I know that there were some other things I know, where we would get the checks and we would make the deposit. So I'm sure if we do a search history month by the deposit, if you know what the amount was, you'll see it in there as a deposit item.
I just looked and the ANA does have the school's address.
Okay, great. Okay,
I
so
did-
it would have.
I did the one fundraiser for ANA last year.
I do remember that. That
School
was
on my birth.
after-
for my
yes,
birthday, and
because
so-
that was one of them that I
Yeah.
do remember giving to me and we deposited.
Yeah, so
Okay,
yeah,
they do come in. Okay.
Great.
and I
Wonderful.
just wanted to make sure it wasn't still going to Dr. Chikowitz's office, so.
Oh, no, I did update everything so that
Yeah.
it would match over to what, next, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, and actually they're really good when any mail does come,
Mhm.
his, assistant, she reaches out, you know,
Mm.
so they'll reach out and say, hey, something came in. You know, just for an example, when our DNO bill, even though we receive it electronically, they still send it out by mail, but they didn't update the address, even though we updated it in the profile. So every time it comes in, I usually send them a message like I got it. So that they won't, you know, but they are very good about letting us know if any important mail is still going. I did try to have everything forwarded over. Yeah. All right, so I will, I think, Don, did you put the motion in first or you were interjecting for the question?
Oh, I just wanted to clear up those things.
Oh,
since
okay,
we're doing
so
the treasurer's report. Sure. Sorry. But yeah, I can motion to approve the minutes and the treasurer's report. Sure.
Okay, all right, so
And
we'll
I'll second it.
okay. All right, all in favor?
I
Bye.
Okay, and I
Aye.
myself.
I,
All right, motion carries. All right, so we're going to go into a little bit of old business, and this is just a compilation of some of the other agendas that we've had over the last couple of months, just to bring everything fresh so that we can, you know, these items have been checked off, but I just wanted to bring it back to the forefront. The membership type fee schedule on the website. So we are still determining that of the retired DN and the institution. The institution is going to need a little bit more time as I've been working with Dr. Mesha when it comes to those things. So it's the institutional membership fee is we'll come up with that because we don't want to recreate the wheel and kind of see what other organizations do with respect to that. And so I think that'll be a good idea to do what other organizations do when it comes to schools and recognition. We just want to make sure that we're doing what's proper. So that is something that Dr. Mesha and I have been looking into for that fee schedule. But as far as the retired DN, that is something that we can still determine ourselves. So that was just one of the old business items to bring back to the forefront that has not been decided upon. And so that would be the retired DN. And I think because the budget is going to change, and they may fluctuate a little bit and maybe a slight increase due to some increases in the things specific, and we'll get to that part on the agenda, but specifically to our DNO is something that went up by $200 annually. So things might shift slightly, maybe by 10 or 20 bucks in the membership rate. So before determining they're retired, I think it would be good to just reassess what the actual active membership fees will be for the next fiscal year. So that's my proposition there. Does anyone have any questions around that? Okay. So just to update on the MPA pledge that we are affectionately calling the Naturopathic Practice Pledge, but in doing lobbying, we realized, hey, there are other activities that we would have to do and not just have to pay for a lobbyist. And so to change it to whatever activities that are necessary in the extension of the Practice Act as we approach 2028. And so definitely raising funds for that. So the years that has been active, of course, 2021, and most of us have made our 2021 contributions into it, which was $250. Some of us have done the 2022, and now we're into 2023. So one of the things that I was going to, speak when we get to the committee reports was to go into an action plan to collecting some of those overdue pledges for those prior years and just kind of explaining to the licensees the importance of it. And the fact of the matter that we're past January 1 and we still have an active license. So we must have done something well during that time because we still have a license for naprapathy in the state of Illinois. So, we just want to, reiterate that to the naprapathic community, that we really needed. And as for seeing what that current balance was today, that is significant. Under the membership tab. So when you go to naprapath.org, we're naprapaths, no S, naprapath.org, and you go under the membership tab, this is one of the first things that pops up, and all of those are active links where you can either pay by PayPal, and of course you can write a check and send it to the ANA to the school's address, or you can take your phones and scan that QR code that's on that page. And it'll take you right to, and you can just write in the memo line that this is the NPA annual pledge. So this is the ways that we've tried to make it user-friendly for everyone to contribute to what it is that we're doing. What does it do? Well, we just got our Practice Act. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the executive order of when the governor signed a bill, but that's what the document to the left it is. And that's something that I think I created a link on the site, the ANA's website, that is, for do the resolution for it. I'm just bringing this back up to the forefront so that we can all remember what those things were, and just creating the state resolution. Oh, that's a cat. Okay. I saw something moving. And so we wanted to create the, resolutions for the state of Illinois, also acknowledging these things for us. And I do know that the association had recognized it as Legatite Day before in the past, but, just for the sake of branding and advertising now, us in Washington, D.C. as we move forward for Medicare. But it will be a really great win for us to first get our state program before we go to lobby for the federal program. And what I mean by lobby is just, I'm generalizing the term by us just going $69 or $600, no, $600, some, it,
680
yeah,
something.
yes, when I did the schools presentation, I had the number of schools that were in the Chicago public school system and how many employees that was. We don't grandfathered in if an issue already in to help people who were and then AQ needed work with Bill, and you're there to go online. To worry because we have a Google document inside of our Google Drive where we're able to just copy paste that. Page when one of the plugins updated. So when you go to the website, it was just a white page. So we didn't lose anything. The site has been completely backed up with all of the information, and we have the different versions of the different backups. So we still have our data and the different versions of the sites that we've had up until this point. So of course, when we can hire someone that's competent to be able to do that for us, we'll be able to, start putting that in. And so that's something that, that definitely I'll recruit the board's help in getting the person, someone in IT, someone that in Bluehost, and maybe even through Bluehost, maybe they would just be the solution. And since it is their hosting, maybe they're the solution as far as getting one of their techs or service people to
Do
help
we
us.
not still have the same person working on the website that was originally doing it? I forget her name.
No, not since that. No, they just created the shell, but they're not still the ones doing it. And it hasn't been that way for months now. So they're not the
Yeah,
same ones
they were
doing it.
pretty-
They create the shell, but not. Money on it. It's just updates. We're not asking them to create the site. It's just, updating it and putting things, in certain places, updating the fonts, that sort of thing. People who actually do this. As far as grants for the ANA, I know that Dr. Weems was sending some things over. Some things were probably more, I guess the school would have been more eligible than the association. But we definitely want to start looking into what things we can get as an association, because we're going to need the funding for the things that we're trying to do nationally and globally now.
Were you able to finish up with Sam? Because I think finishing up with Sam, that would open up for doing things nationally. Maybe talking to naturopaths across the United States and trying to do some trials and research, because they have those bigger grants through them, but we have to make sure that everything is done. So
The SAM
let me-
registration, to
Yeah,
SAM.
exactly. So
Okay,
we need to get that done if we want to secure bigger grants and grants for the ANA.
Okay, okay. All right, I do see some for the Amazon Smile. Sometime from time to time, I do see that we get a matching contribution for that. I probably want to put something larger on the site, you know, to remind people to think of us with Amazon Smile. I see them from time to time, but I guess maybe we could, maybe something type of a picture, logo, something. Presentation. It was a presentation that was formed by Dr. Mesha about the ANA's Council on Colleges, the position in recognizing places. And so we kind of had a few slides about the Healthcare Freedom Act in there. And so that was in prior board meetings, but we're not discussing that right now. We're just discussing the Healthcare Freedom Act itself, just in general terms for everyone to understand. And of course, you can get more information, but I just want to make sure that people are clear. I've seen some things posted on social media, you know, in different nephropathy groups or naturopath groups, and I just want to be clear about what this is saying and what exactly that you need to do for it.